In today's video, Yonge Eglinton condos are down $80,000. How is it holding up as an area? And let's compare it quickly to Yonge and Sheppard. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. Quickly, my contact information is on the screen. Feel free to get in touch with me with any questions you may have with regards to topics covered in this video or any other videos, or if you have any general inquiries whatsoever. Lastly, if you want to do a little bit of your own due diligence before you do get in touch with me, feel free to just simply Google my name, go through my Google reviews so you can establish a little bit of a better understanding. Anyways, enough of all that self-promotion. Let's get to the point of today's video, which is the Yonge Eglinton area. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm considering Yonge Eglinton condos as anything within 1 kilometer radius of the Yonge Eglinton intersection. As you can see from the map, some buildings might be left out, but most, I would probably have to say 95% of condo buildings that people consider as Yonge Eglinton condos is included in the sales data. Now, for perspective, when the market was really at peak market conditions for the Toronto condo market, really the GTA condo market, was March of 2022. And in March of 2022, the average selling price of a condo across all condo types, so going from 1 bedroom to 2 bedroom to studios, in the Yonge Eglinton area was $836,000. The median was $790,000. And of course, these selling prices, both regards to median and averages, were much higher than asking prices because at the time, the Toronto real estate market overall across all property types, but obviously particularly with condos as well, was enthralled in a very hot, vibrant market, a seller-friendly market, rampant with bidding wars. As a result, if we look at these average and median prices relative to the average asking price at the time, we see a vast difference because in March of 2022, with regards to Yonge and Eglinton, the average asking price for a condo was $779,000. Simply contrasting that with the average selling price, essentially condos on average in the Yonge and Eglinton area were selling 108% of the asking price. Now, this is a little bit overinflated because, simply put, at the time, once again, it was a very hot market and asking prices were for bidding, right? So artificially under market value prices to induce a lot of interest from buyers and obviously to further induce a bidding war. So this difference between asking and selling will seem a little bit large, but keep in mind, it has primarily to do with the selling strategy that people were employing at the time, including myself from my sellers. Because when the market is hot and you can really take advantage and leverage buyers against each other, well, if I'm representing the seller, of course, that is my job and I have to do that. But prices have not remained that high, obviously, because that is in March, peak market conditions. Prices have been slowly, steadily dropping in the Yonge Eglinton area. So let's pick it up from June. After several installments of the rate hikes, but not obviously the most recent one, which occurred July 13th. Nonetheless, when the market was showing its first signs, immediate signs of a cool down. Well, as of June 2022, the average and median were relatively close. The average was $745,000. The median was $735,000. When the average and median are that close, it's already a very clear sign of a cooler, more moderate market. Into July 2022, the average for Yonge and Eglinton condos saw a slight uptick, coming in at $765,000. And that doesn't necessarily have to do with a overall general market sentiment towards the Yonge and Eglinton area. If you go through the transactions as I did in that month, you see a lot of penthouses selling, kind of carrying up the average because the median tells a different story. The median in July was $712,000. So in July of 2022, the most recent month we have incomplete because this is being recorded as of August 18th. Average prices were down nearly $70,000 from peak market condition. Median prices were down almost $80,000. And on the average front, average was slightly higher than June 2022. Median nonetheless was still much lower than June 2022 as well. And of course, August, which once again, this is being recorded August 18th, so we don't have full access to August data. We only have 17 full days of August data. Thus far, the average sold price is $688,000. That's right, in the Yonge and Eglinton area, we're looking at the 600s now for averages. Once again, keep in mind, it's a small sample size and we're only, basically halfway through August. The median is around $638,000. Since the sample size so far in August is smaller, only 10 to 12 sales, I would here have to say the median is a better measure, but even with a small sample size, the medians can be a little bit misleading. Much better than averages, but ideally we want to have a large sample size. But this is where the interesting thing comes into play, because as we saw in peak market conditions, condos in the Yonge and Eglinton area were selling 108% of asking. Now, obviously, they're selling less than asking because the average asking price in the Yonge and Eglinton area is $708,000 so far in August. So that's, on average, properties there are selling, with regards to condos, obviously, 97% of asking. And if you're a long-time viewer of this channel, you know that I'm a little bit bearish on Yonge and Eglinton. Not that I don't like Yonge and Eglinton, not that I don't believe you can make good purchases in Yonge and Eglinton. I have bought condos in Yonge and Eglinton. I have sold condos in Yonge and Eglinton. There are buildings that I'm a big fan of, and overall in the area, I think it's just a good area. I don't think it's a great area that a lot of people make it out to be. And often what I like to say is Yonge and Sheppard is what everyone thinks Yonge and Eglinton is. Because from the perspective of an end user and an investor, I am far, far more bullish on the Yonge and Sheppard area. So I thought quickly, why not contrast these Yonge and Eglinton numbers with the Yonge and Sheppard numbers? Because in February and March of 2022, of course, everything was practically on fire. Everything with regards to condos were practically on fire. But what really saw the largest jump in interest, in bidding wars, in buyer demand, in seller success, and really crazy selling prices was the North York condo market, particularly areas around Yonge and Sheppard, to a lesser but still noticeable extent, Yonge and Finch. And I'm not just speaking once again from the numbers. As you know, if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, I am a Toronto real estate agent. My contact info in the description box, but I buy and sell. So thus from experience as well, I can tell you in the Yonge and Sheppard area, we made some of the best sales for our sellers in February and March of 2022 in the Yonge and Sheppard area. To quickly go through the numbers, the average selling prices in March were $835 in Yonge and Sheppard, while median was around $806. Here, the average is pretty much on par with the average of Yonge and Eglinton, but the median is a little bit higher by a factor of $10,000. And at the time, properties were not selling 108% of asking price, such as was the case in Yonge and Eglinton, but here in Yonge and Sheppard, where properties were selling 112% of asking price. So the market here was much, much hotter, as I said. But into the most recent months, particularly the most recent month we have in full, July of 2022, of course, Yonge and Sheppard, along with every other single area for every other single property type, is down, but it has actually retained its value a little bit better than Yonge and Eglinton. Because in July of 2022, average for Yonge and Sheppard condo, once again, considering a kilometer radius within Yonge and Sheppard, was down all the way to $778,000. And the median price was all the way down to $731,000. So obviously, once again, much less than peak market conditions, nonetheless, still higher than Yonge and Eglinton and still less of a fall compared to peak market conditions that we saw with Yonge and Eglinton. And let me know if you want me to make a video about why in particular, more in-depth video, why I prefer Yonge and Sheppard over Yonge and Eglinton. Many of you who are my clients may already know as to why, if I've talked to you in the past on the phone about this case. But if you're interested about my opinions as to why I prefer Yonge and Sheppard over Yonge and Eglinton, let me know if you want me to make a full-length video on that matter. Anyways, for more market news, stats and trends, buyer advice, seller advice, building reviews, and everything in between, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Your support in that regard is greatly appreciated. As always, my contact information in the description box. Feel free to get in touch with me with any questions you may have. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.